What's up, everybody? My name is Shadow Phoenix. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some Planet Coaster. We are here today, the day before Halloween. That's right. Only one day left before my favorite holiday of the entire year. And we are here in Crystal Gardens working on our Haunted Mansion, which at this point, it's getting so close to being done that I think I may end up calling this Raven Manor, I think is what I'm going to call it. And yeah, I know I'm going a little crazy with the Ravens this year, but you know, we got the Raven Wing Coaster, and if I call this, you know, Raven Manor, then that's two Ravens. But I guess it's a good way to kind of keep things in sync with kind of both projects in kind of a way, and kind of keep them maybe a little bit of a legend behind both of them that kind of interconnect. I don't know, maybe, you know, draw your own conclusions on that. Maybe I just like the word Raven. Maybe. But anyway, so what you see me working on right now is one of the biggest areas and the biggest tricks and special effects for the entire Haunted Manor that I'm doing, and that is the ballroom. Yes, that's right, you've seen it in Haunted Mansion at Disney World, and I'm going to try my best to make my own version of it here in Planet Coaster. Obviously, we can't do a Pepper's Ghost, but I'm going to try to do a couple of tricks here that actually end up working better than I expected. In fact, I just ended up pulling an all-nighter last night on my Twitch channel. I was up until about almost 8 a.m. this morning working on this, and it came out absolutely stunning with the other rooms and stuff that I've added. So what you're going to see me work on today's video, obviously, is the biggest part of it, the ballroom here. And then, of course, we also have the seance room, as I call it. Basically, the seance room will be the welcome center, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about this. So the ballroom, basically, you're going to come out of the cemetery, which we did in the last video, and you're going to go through one of the tombs and then into the ballroom. Well, there will be a bunch of ghosts kind of waltzing and, you know, kind of having their fun as they enjoy here in this room. And I was a little puzzled on how I was going to do it. This part was easy. This I knew I wanted to do from the very beginning. I was going to take these towers, these stucco columns, the Roman columns, Greek columns, whatever they are, and I was going to put them kind of up around there with a arch on top of it to kind of make that. What you don't see me do in this video, but is done, is putting together the rest of the walls and stuff on the inside in there to kind of cover up the back sides, as well as the railings that go along the staircase as it is. Technically it's a slope, but it's supposed to be a staircase that winds around the ballroom. So you won't see me do that, but it did get done. The game crashed on me while I was working on a couple things, which we'll talk about when we get to that point. But yeah, so the biggest part of it was this actual section right here. I wasn't actually sure how I was going to do the ballroom. I had played around with a few things, a few tricks and a few special effects in the game, so I knew a couple things I wanted to do, and what I didn't know was how I was going to actually make it work, like in the room itself. I knew the special effects, I just didn't know what the room was going to look like. So as I got to toying around with it, I realized we had a few issues here that I had to try to figure out. One of them was this slope behind the wall that is going to go down into the furnace room, or the dungeon that will be there in the castle, or mansion. So we're left with a little bit of limited room. And of course, what I'm doing right now is all ballrooms have a dance floor and a marble floor. I thought would have been very appropriate for this. It seems to me a ghostly ballroom should have a marble dance floor, and that's what we're going to do here. So I'm taking the marble pieces from the spooky pack. We're going to raise them right above the track, and we're going to place them down through there. It offers an interesting reflection on that too. Obviously I had to delete a few pieces there in the corners, but no worries, that all gets hidden, so it will not be a problem. I actually had a bigger issue trying to get the back pieces, the back wall around the staircase to work and not interfere with the graveyard scene at all. So But anyway, I toyed around with this, and I don't know. I tried a couple different things, which I cut out of the video here, so you guys won't see some of my possible versions of it. But this is the one I kind of ended up going with. Was we sealed off both sides, so it comes in on one side and then goes around the ballroom, goes out the other where it winds around, and then it's going to hit the winding staircase. So I figured let's try to make this in sync on both sides. So since we have a arch on one side, we need an arch on the other. But yeah, so that's kind of what I ended up doing with that. And I was trying to get a few different things here with some of the billboards and stuff. So we are going to have a few billboard effects in this room. And fans of my channel know that I don't really mess around with billboards too much. This ride is going to be probably the most I've ever messed around with billboards at all. And it just calls for it. There's no way to get the spooky effects and stuff into this ride without doing these. So it just, as you can see here, this just wasn't looking right to me. I was trying a bunch of different stuff, and I was like, all right, well, yeah, it didn't match up. One side was just kind of lopsided. We got this arch on one side, but not the other. This didn't make any sense. I did use the window trick, where you use the window as a wall on the back, on this in between these posts here to kind of fill in those gaps. That worked pretty good. And then I kind of put the arch together down here on the other side to kind of make both sides match. That's when things kind of started coming together. And then I realized I have this whole center area that I have to play with. And that was going to be kind of the ballroom. So the idea is going to be, you will come into the room, you'll have dancing ghosts in front of us, and then that billboard will make it look like there's a larger area going back through there. And then you'll have dancing ghosts back in the back there as well. So it'll make the room look bigger without the room actually being bigger. So it worked for me. Here I was messing around with trying to do some more windows and stuff up here at the top, so I could get some translucent effects. And just trying some different stuff on the top of it. I mean, again, I had a whole lot of trouble trying to figure out what to do with this entire room. Other than what I knew I wanted to do, but eventually I did finally start figuring it out here. So once I got that kind of sorted out there, and then I was like, all right, let's put it on the other side. Okay, and then that I was going to take one of the billboards and I was going to put a billboard behind it, just kind of slowly put it back into there. That's a trick I learned from Esther and Wolf, I think it was, where the billboards, you can kind of, if you put them back just far enough, you can fit them into the window, and that kind of works pretty good. And here we have my ghostly effect that I was going to do. Now this isn't completely done yet. This is just a pre-effect. I have some more tricks up my sleeve for that we're going to work on as well. So it's just a dancing ghost, but I will work on that and make them look, like the room is bigger and stuff back in there too. So it turns out pretty good, I think. As you can see here, in the dark, it does work quite well. And then we got some floating ghosts in the windows that are supposed to be like outside, kind of dancing, and they're not really waltzing. They're more just like floating outside kind of thing. So now, here, this is my dancing ghost, and I want to give a huge shout out to someone who created part of this. The lady in white there, she was created by a person called LiliBat. LiliBat, most of you probably don't know her, but she is very popular on where she spends a lot of time on the Planet Coaster forums, the official forums. And then, she created these ghostly ladies, and the ghostly ladies are really, really cool. So what I did was I took that, kind of changed it up a little bit, added some more effects to it, and then I added another guy in there, another animatronic, and painted him all white and made him look like the guy that she's dancing with. But again, huge shout out to LiliBat for that awesome creation of that. I don't think I could have figured out how to do this without that creation. I was lucky to find it on the workshop, and then when I looked, I was like, oh, hey, this was made by LiliBat. And my thoughts was like, I know her. She's on the Planet Coaster forums. So she's huge into like gothic stuff and like, you know, spooky things and stuff like that. She does a lot of that kind of stuff. So anyway, as I was talking about that, you notice that I was kind of messing around with the lady in white is what we will call her. I was messing around with her dress, trying to make some changes to it, when all of a sudden Planet Coaster crashed, which leads us to what we are seeing here. So now we're going to kind of go from the ballroom to kind of working on the seance room. And we'll talk a little bit about the seance room. So the seance room is going to be the first room that you enter as soon as you start the actual ride. So you'll leave the loading area, and then the parlor, we call it, the loading parlor. You'll leave that, and then you go into a small dark room and in through another door where you'll come into this room here, which is going to be the seance room. In the seance room, we are going to have a crystal ball. And the crystal ball is going to be kind of what welcomes you to the manor and kind of tells you the story that, basically you don't want to be in this house after midnight. And that is kind of the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to record a whole thing with my own voice. Because, you guys who watch my Twitch channel know that I do voices and stuff like that on occasion. I'm not great at it, but I kind of do my own special effects and stuff like that. So I'm going to record a voiceover, kind of deep, kind of ghostly voice, and I'm going to put it on the crystal ball, which will be the welcome message into the manor, which kind of give you an idea of the story of the entire thing and what's going to be happening. So, but the first thing we had to do was we had to figure out the walls and stuff to go around the room. I also want to give a huge shout out to DGN Mist, Dragon Mist I call her, or just Mist for short. She is another streamer on Twitch, and she's quite a great friend of mine. She's one of my mods in my channel. She showed me, I was struggling with like how I would make this room look to start, and then she showed me a photo of it's like a concept art. I don't know what it was for, but she found it. I guess she just Googled seance room or crystal ball or something and found this really cool looking room. And I kind of based this on that picture that she showed me. It's loosely based, totally loosely based, because I wasn't able to get the entire effect and everything of it. But I like the colors and stuff in it, and it helped me design this room out pretty well. So as you can see, we have a fireplace here in the room. Nothing special to the fireplace. It just adds to the ambiance, really. And we're going to put a pumpkin up on top of that. The pumpkin was actually in the picture that she showed me, so I was hesitant about using it because I didn't really want to use pumpkins in this ride. But because pumpkins are more Halloween and not really like dark ride kind of things. But I mean, it is Halloween, and there was a spooky jack-o'-lantern sitting on the fireplace mantle, so I was like, all right, sure, we'll go with it. So. And then, of course, these red walls right here weren't going to work for me with the stone. They just weren't really matching too well, so I ended up kind of altering that a little bit. I tried a few different things there and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this one wall, but in the end, what I did was take this over here, copy it over, and then just put that over top of that. Now that I'm looking at it, though, I think what I may end up doing is changing that from red to maybe a dark blue, to kind of match the rest of the room. I think we're probably going to do that. Now for the floors, at first I tried doing a marble effect again, and as I started doing it, I wasn't happy with it. It wasn't working for me. It just seemed like it was going to be too reflective. And that's when I went with these old wooden floors from the Spooky Pack. And those worked good enough for me. I like those, and that's what we're going to go with for it. So we'll just end up placing all these down like so, and making everything match, kind of getting rid of the little bit of land that was kind of just up and about right there. All right, so now we've got kind of a circular room in its way, kind of octagonal, whatever. Now let's start on our crystal ball. Now this crystal ball was something that I spent 2 or 3 hours on. I'm probably gonna say I spent about 3 hours messing around with this before I started recording and started streaming yesterday, and trying to get a neat effect with it. And so I kind of had an idea of what I was going to do before I even started with it. But as I was working with it on stream, things kind of progressed, and it actually became better than any of the stuff I ended up doing that day. For example, the little piece that I put right underneath of the crystal ball. And the crystal ball that I used is actually, it's the closest translucent thing I could find that was circular and spherical. Spherical? Yeah. Spherical, I think, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, there's a gem that is kind of egg-shaped, and that is what I use for the crystal ball. It works. It's not perfect, but it works. So then one of the things I tested out was putting a floating head inside of the crystal ball. So I used the pirate guy, and I kind of put him down into this pedestal. In other words, I put the pirate on a pedestal. And then his head kind of, when you use the black smoke effect, and then with a little bit of the right lighting, you can kind of see his head inside of the crystal ball. And it's very translucent, and it works fairly decent. And watching this video, it actually worked out better than it did when I was actually looking at it in the game itself. But I still didn't feel that it was good enough, because I figured you're going to be going by it so fast that maybe the effect actually might be missed. And then I was just kind of messing around with some stuff. I was like, all right, maybe we'll try multiplying his head and try to make more of that. But nothing was really working. And then I kind of stumbled upon using a pumpkin inside of it here. So we're going to put that little flower light in there as kind of a eerie purplish light effect. I like that light right there. So, and I'm kind of looking around at this, and then I was like, let's take a look at Spooky. And then I saw that pumpkin. I was like, hey, wait a minute, what if we put a pumpkin on the inside there? And that was where the entire thing kind of came together right there. And I was like, oh, that works. But wait, can we paint the pumpkin? It turns out you can paint the pumpkin. So we deleted the pirate guy out of there. I went in, I started painting around, messing around with the pumpkin colors. And I went with the purple, because, you know, purple's kind of my favorite color. So I painted the pumpkin black, and then gave him some purple lights on the inside of him, so he glows that purple. And that's how we ended up getting the crystal ball effect. Now, these sofas and stuff like this, these were in the actual picture that Mist showed me, and I was trying to put those in there and make it work, but I wasn't happy with them. They weren't really working for me. It just, something about it I just didn't like. So instead, I started messing around with these floating books, and I wasn't sure about using the floating books to begin with, and I did end up going with them, though, because it does add a little bit more of effect into the room. And then I believe it might have been another person in my Twitch channel at the time, was, it was either WikiLeaks or Thrill Rider, one or the other. They had mentioned to put the books all being on the same level were kind of strange. So they said you should alter the height of the books right there. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I messed around with that a little bit here, as you can see. I started placing books down there, just kind of raising it up, and that way we get 3 different stacks of different heights of books there, and that worked pretty good. And then I added a couple more floating books just kind of around for that ghostly feeling. I think I may end up going back and putting a couple more chairs and stuff in this room, though. So now this is where I decided that I don't know, the room didn't really match up with all of I had too many lights in the room on the walls, so I was trying to mess around with that. I was like, this center window, right, or this center wall needed a window. And my idea is I'm going to put a storm outside, and so I wanted the window to be open. So I just deleted that wall right there, kind of flattened this area out back there, so maybe we could put maybe a thunderstorm effect outside of that. And then we're going to copy this window right here that I used in the hallway in the last video, and we're going to put it right into that, and lo and behold, it fit perfectly right into there. And I was like, wow, that works great. We'll give those curtains a little bit of a darker color, mess around with the pumpkin a little bit more, and that's going to be it. So let's head on and let me show you guys what everything kind of turned out in this next section here, shall we? Alright guys, here we are outside of the time lapse, so let's take a look at what we've got so far. Just kind of a quick lights on tour of a couple of things here, and as you can see, this is our entry parlor, our loading parlor, and there will still be some more things added to this before it is actually finished tomorrow. I am running out of time though, so I've really got to, I'm going to be up on another probably all-nighter tonight working on this. So let's move into the seance room. As you can see, again, still more stuff. We're going to have to put a ceiling and some other things in here, but there's the crystal ball. It looks really good, I think. I think it does anyway. And then from there, we're going to move into the hallway, the haunted hallway. And then, of course, this goes out into the graveyard from here. And I'm just going to fly through the graveyard real quick. There's not a whole lot to talk about that we didn't talk about in the last episode. Over into here. Now, let's check out the ballroom. Piece de la Resistance. With the lights on tour, you won't get the full effect of it, but you will be able to kind of see the awesome stuff. Now, again, I do definitely want to say a huge shout out to LiliBat for these awesome lady in whites. Those were fantastic, and you can see I kind of changed a couple of them around, messed with their dresses a little bit to kind of give them a little bit of difference. Put their dress so their dresses aren't as flowing, basically. You've got the effect of the dancing ghosts in the background with the dark colored black flames, kind of give it a 3D feel. That kind of worked. And then we're going to show one more, well actually two more rooms here that I didn't actually build in the video. I built these last night, so we're going to move into this next little section here. There's going to be a dark hallway. I wonder what's going to happen in there. And then we're going to swing around into the library study, which will have a pretty cool effect in here as well. Still more work to do in here, but you're getting kind of the picture. And then up back into here, and this is where we're going to wind around the staircase, which will take us up into the next areas. So I've got a few more rooms I got to finish tonight. It is going to be a lot of work, but I definitely plan on getting this done for you guys by tomorrow. I can't wait to kind of get it done. So, and that's going to be kind of it. So there you have it. There is a look outside of the time lapse of what we've got so far with our Haunted Manor here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little behind the scenes tour, a little bit of the construction, and the time lapse video. I'm going to head out of here. I got tons of work to do. I still got to finish Raven as well. So until the next time, thanks for tuning in. I very much appreciate you guys watching. I'm out of here wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I very much appreciate it. If you are not already a subscriber here on the channel and you'd like to be, click that button down below to do so, and click the bell to be notified the next time a video goes live, as I have been doing daily content here on the channel. You can also follow me over on Twitter, and I live stream on twitch.tv as well. So if you like the content you see here, you will love the live streaming too. The links for those are in the video description down below. Now, if you are in a position to do so and you would like to support the channel, you can do that through our Patreon page, or you can use one of our affiliate links, such as Greenman Gaming, Humble Bundle, or Amazon. Any purchase you make by clicking on our links, a little percentage of that goes to me to help towards living expenses, as well as making the content better here on the channel. Now, as always, I love to hear from you guys, so make sure you click that like button and leave comments below to let me know your thoughts on the videos. That's going to do it for me today. Remember, guys, wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later.